Hey guys, Dr. Anderson here, doing my weekend hike. I wanted to touch base with you a bit about muscle loss as you get older. And I think it connects in really nicely with the types of people I see. I see people that have neuropathy. I see people that have restless legs. And as you get older, there's muscle loss that occurs. And having good muscle bulk, percentage of muscle that you have is important because it is something that metabolizes glucose. It affects the metabolism of glucose, and if you don't have good control of your glucose, obviously that can cause more damage to the nerves. Therefore, you're more likely to get restless legs and neuropathy. It is a factor, at least. So, and if you notice, I want to take a second to show you, I've got an audience here that's also trying to learn about this. I'm not sure if these deer have muscle loss or not, but I probably have a lot better diet than most of us up there. They're listening in. But a couple things I want to talk about. Probably number one thing is exercise. There's three things I'm going to talk about: exercise, sleep, and diet. Exercise is important, yes. As you get older, we don't move as much. If you don't run, at least go walking, hiking, which is what I'm doing today. I think I'm just going to share what I do, because I've had some patients that have kind of told me that I've motivated them just because of my physical fitness. So here's what I do. I usually try to hike. I used to run, but I had a hip injury that kind of keeps me from running. But anyway, for now at least. But I hike probably twice a week, maybe at very most, maybe 90 minutes, and at very least, at least 45 minutes. And do that in the mountains. I'm going up and down hills, which puts a lot of resistance on my muscles. The other thing, that's good. So the other thing you want to do is resistance exercises. That can be using weights. That can be doing calisthenics. I do maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I try to do 2 sets of 50 push-ups. I do 2 sets of 15 pull-ups. I do maybe 2 sets of 25 dips. And I might do maybe 2 sets of 40 to 50 squats. So I'm trying to think what else. I think that's basically it. I can do that like in 10 or 15 minutes. It's very simple. Doesn't eat up a lot of my time. And so that's something you should do, is resistance exercises along with your aerobic exercise. So let's move on to sleep. Sleep is really important. In fact, it's been said that sleep is more important than your diet, because that's when your muscles repair, and you can keep more muscle bulk if you have more sleep. So be aware of that. The third thing is diet. Diet is really important, obviously. And the number one thing that you need to be aware of is that grass-fed beef. I contend, and just from what I'm hearing from experts, is the number one thing that you can have for muscle repair. Yes, again, grass-fed beef. And for probably the last 2 or 3 years, we usually buy a quarter cow, and that's what we have for our beef primarily. It's very good for muscle repair. And again, remember to have it grass-fed. So we've covered sleep, we've covered diet, we've covered exercise. The one other thing I want to end with, there's a medication out there called Ozempic. A lot of people have been hearing about. There's all different types of Ozempic that's out there, and it uses your body's hormones to control your appetite, and it suppresses your appetite. People are losing weight on it. A lot of maybe movie stars or famous people are using it, possibly. But one of the studies around it is indicating that it can create a situation where you create so much loss of muscle that it could be worth 10 years of your life. So just be aware of that. A lot of you don't hear that. You hear all the buzz about it. But in fact, what you're losing is not just fat, but muscle. And it's really important not to lose muscle. And that brings me to something else. Sometimes you'll see people that are kind of bulky. They're just big boned or look big. And you might even call them obese. But you got to remember, it's the percentage of your body mass that's muscle. And that is a really big, important figure. And if you don't do anything about it, if you don't fight it as you get older, by getting good sleep and eating right and exercising and doing resistance exercise, you've got to kind of sway the tide away so that you don't have that issue. Oh, look, they must be interested. They're getting closer. I think they're listening in. So anyway, I guess that's it. That's something I wanted to share with you. And that kind of indirectly ties into what I do, because I see a lot of people with nerve conditions and obesity, and having larger body weight and less muscle mass is a huge factor. There's more we could talk about, but that should be it for now. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. We're on Facebook. You can find us there. And I hope you learned some pearls of information that might be useful for as you're growing older, to keep that muscle mass going, because it's going to help increase your longevity and let you have a better, healthier life. Thank you for watching.